Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the Nata PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At Nata PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to this 53rd episode of the Nata PR School podcast. Lessons from the podcast. I can't believe it. It's already been 1 year since I started uploading and sharing a weekly podcast in French and in English. As my producer says, it's not 52 podcasts you've done, it's 104. But to me, it's still the same number because I'm kind of repeating the same thing in English. For those who are curious, yes, I do record my podcast in French first and in English second. So a whole year, 52 episodes. I'm taking the time today to really reflect. I want to share with you what I've learned. And I want to also thank my producer, VAR Media, my podcast producer, VAR Media, the owner. His name is Francis, Valiquette Francis. We did a podcast with him. I think it was podcast around 2025. I can't remember the number, but if you want to know more about who he is and how amazing this professional is, you can listen to the podcast where I have an interview with him. I think it's called The Secret of the Podcast. Now, today it's the lessons. So let's start with what drove me to this amazing tool. And what is really interesting is what drove me 12 months ago is still the same. I still have the same intention. So I have three. My first intention was really to pair a podcast with an online training because I had studied it and I've seen it with other coaches. For example, many American coaches or professionals use a podcast combined to online training. So I really wanted to do that and create it and see how it works. And if you want to follow just even one professional, I really love Amy Porterfield's. Her podcast is amazing. She's been doing online marketing for 12 years. So as you can imagine, there's a few things you can learn by listening to her podcast. And she's always on and her experience is just amazing. So her content is on point. That was my first reason. First reason was to experiment this business model, having a podcast combined with an online training. My second reason was to, I like to say, you've heard me say that, going to the PR gym. Well, I wanted to go to the online gym and have a real in-depth online experience that would be way different than what I knew. But, we all have learned how the web works. But when you do it on your own and when you spend your own money on the web, it's very different. So reading a book is one thing. You can read about bodybuilding, how to build muscles, what you should be eating, the type of exercises you should be doing. But if you never go to the gym or lift weights, well, you'll never build any muscle. I had a discussion with a friend of mine one day, and we were talking about meditation. And I was explaining my own experiences. Oh, yeah, I've read a lot about meditation, and I know what it is. And my first question was, okay, but did you ever meditate yourself? Like, did you ever sit somewhere, stay calm, and try to calm your brain? So, web experience. And after 12 months, I really can say I've built my muscle. Well, rest assured that I'm not the Madonna of the web. I haven't built muscle as she has. However, if you're afraid of what's happening out there, or you think it's too late, you think you're too old, I'll be more than happy to teach you, help you, guide you, and tell you what you should be doing, really, because I know now. I've done it myself. Or if you're a little genius of the web, well, now I do understand everything you're telling me. and really understand what you are explaining or you are suggesting. And sometimes I can say, no, this is not working. I've done it. I've done that. Well, this is what I want. And I have a crystal clear understanding of what's happening over there. Of course, there's always something new to learn, which is so fun for me because my first strength is I love to learn. So imagine. So that was my second reason. It was to build my online muscle. My first reason was to experiment this business model, having a podcast combined to an online training, build my muscle. Number two. Number three, I wanted to create content. And my third lesson is really that I know I have an endlessly pool of content I can dig in. So my experience and what's happening at the agency really helps me create content. And I know that I can talk about what's happening at the agency. I can always dig in what's happening in my daily life. This is a great lesson, especially for those, if you have an agency, you're selling services, know that people are curious. It's kind of strange sometimes, especially us PR agencies. What we sell is, I always say that we sell a win. It's hard to grasp and see what we do. So when we talk about what we do and we give like real examples of what's happening, it really interests and help other companies out there, other people, young marketers or young PR professionals out there. So that's my third lesson. I also have another 3 major haha moments doing this podcast. So my first one is that the podcast, I knew it. I've read that it was an incredible tool for referencing your work. It's an incredible referencing tool, but not even close to what I knew. It's 10 times stronger, maybe 100 times stronger than what I thought. And if you want to know more, I'll be happy to explain it to you. So the podcast is a crazy tool to really help you be in this, in the famous algorithm to raise your SEO, optimize the search engine. So it's crazy. I'm telling you, it really works. But you have to do more than one podcast. So know that. And you can build your online muscles at any age. If you're like me and you have more than 30 years of experience, so you're close to my age, you're 40, 50, 60 and more, it's never too late to go to the gym. Know that. You can build your online muscles at any age. You can start today. And the third one is you can broadcast content to help others without having to puff up your ego. That's another lesson because it took me a long time, especially if you're part of my generation and older. When we see all these people talking and promoting themselves, this is something we have to wrap our mind around because we weren't doing that 20, 30 years ago. And it was perceived as very promoting oneself, right? Promoting your own ego. But I've been studying what people are doing online, how they promote themselves. Well, some of them obviously have a huge ego, but other people are really there genuinely to help others. So this is where I put my mind. So if you want to do that, you want to try and experiment it without increasing the size of your ego, without having the big head, you have to put yourself in the mode of helping others. This is the best way, and you will help people. So these are 3 also other on-site lessons that I've learned. I believe that as the most experienced and most qualified people, some of you are, it is really on our interest to figure out how to roll out on the web, how to be present on the web. I've learned 2 other things that I'm going to share with you, especially if you're part of these amazing professionals that aren't online, that are very secret because you have created something amazing that really works for your clients. Know that you can really adapt your message and wording to reach a younger audience, younger generations. I'm just as happy now explaining my web discoveries to an executive, a senior executive who doesn't use any of the digital tools. and wants to know more and maybe start using them, as to a young professional who's just launched their online business. That makes me so happy to be able to talk to all generations. And it's sometimes very simple. So now I completely understand that when we talk about public relations, PR, we are the organic part of any good marketing plan. So when I say that to a young digital marketer, I can see their eyes and they're like, oh, this is what you do. Now they do understand that what we do is having these amazing articles online that weren't paid, having a blogger talking about a brand, a product, a service, a personality. So this is what we do. We are behind the creation of so much content that's afterward broadcast online. So that's one lesson. Lesson number 2, you can really have fun with this. And this is what I want to keep in mind and have more fun in the next 52 episode that I'm going to be recording, because I plan to do it and I want to do it. And I stopped thinking about increasing my workload, and I have decided to change my routine and to go to the online gym. It's really the same things. And I had a professional invited me last week for lunch because he wanted to understand and hear what I had to say about how I created my program, the Nata PR School. He was really curious and really impressed. Where did you find the time to do all that? And I told him it's exactly, you want to take care of your health, you want to start running. It's exactly the same process. You choose something you really want to do, and you do it. You put it in your calendar, and no matter what, you do it. Unless obviously someone dies, but if nobody has to go urgently to the hospital, you sit down and you do it. Isn't that crazy? So whatever method you choose, one thing is clear. If you want to achieve something new, you have to try something different. You have to try something new. Otherwise, your dream, what you really, really want to do, you want to create something new, you want to take care of your health, it's never going to happen. And this is where I can help you. I'm a coach. I'm trained as a coach from the Life Coach School. I have these amazing tools that I'm happy to share with you. I can work with you and really help you. I'm your PR coach. I can be also your business PR coach. I'll be happy to help you grow your business. My new motto, if it's difficult, so what? So what is my new favorite affirmations? I love to say that when my employees are like, oh, but it's going to take time. So what? How can we find solution to do it and have fun at the same time? Remember Nike? They are using this message, this sometimes we call it the communication angle, this slogan, just do it. I love those simple things because it reminds us that us as human, we can choose to do different things. We can choose to make decisions. We can choose to try something different. So just do it. I want to leave you with this, and please take the time to reflect on it and think about what you want to do and try to just do it. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode and that you will be joining us next week. And if, as you know, you can always click on the bottom or go on my website. My email is there. Send me an email, book an appointment, a free consultation. I'll be happy to guide you and even tell you where, if you're at the beginning of exploring, I can share you and tell you where you should be starting, what you should be doing, or suggest you what you should be doing, obviously. And I'm putting all the links of where you can find more information about us. We have a Facebook page. We have 2 Instagram accounts. I have a LinkedIn account also, so you can find me there. So hopefully you'll be there next week. À la semaine prochaine. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the Nata PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.